Good morning. There it is.
Okay.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Only one participant. Can you hear? Yes. Can you hear me, guys? Shall we go ahead? Yes, Saida. Am I audible? Shall we start? Shall we? Saida Rubina Begum. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Yes, guys. Operating. Computer. So when I type, is it visible to everyone? Yes. Yes. And shall I need? Do I need to wait for some time? Wait. Only one has come. Okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Muhammad Nawid. Okay. Am I audible? do you have any doubt, clarification, or anything in general until a few more students join the session? I can personally clarify your doubts or clarifications or help you with any requirement. Yes, are you facing any?
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. Very good morning.
Sir, for custom officer, it should
Okay.
be a required percentage of graduation, pass
Okay.
out marks.
That you have to check with the notification. I can exclusively help the civil services because most of the things you will have to check with the notification itself. Every requirement will be given well within the notification for any job requirement. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
we are supposed to get the notification?
No idea.
By which
Actually,
month?
uh, I have no idea. So I can
Okay.
help you with anything of like civil services preparation.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anything related to civil services, any subject or any requirement I can help, not with the other things and other notifications. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sir,
Yeah.
in PSUs also, PSCs also, no, sir, for state also.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine. I can. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Others. Do you have any doubt, clarification? Afreen, Fatima, and Humaira Begum. Am I pronouncing correctly? Humaira or Humaira? Humaira. Yeah. Is it any doubt or clarification or anything that is stopping your preparation or anything that is slowing down your preparation? Yes, nothing. Okay, guys, you don't. Shall we start? If you don't have anything, we'll start with the session. Yeah. Okay. If you want me to start the session, just type yes. I'll just check. Or if you want to ask any doubt or clarification in general about any of the subjects or current affairs or of your preparation, I can help you with until a few more join the class. Yeah, no doubt. Am I audible? Just tell me, can you hear me? Yes or no? You can hear, right? Can you hear? Hello? All of you got? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. All right. Then we'll start. Yeah. We have waited enough time for everyone. So you're on track as far as your preparation is concerned. Is that right? Or still getting ready for the preparation? Okay. Anyway, let us start. Today, some aspects of the environment or environment, it can be pronounced in two ways. It doesn't matter, but you should understand. Some of a few topics related to the current affairs related to this. One thing is India State of Forest Report 2021. State of Forest Report 2021. Generally, it is prepared after every 2 years. Last time it was prepared was in 2019. The latest one is 2021. The next report which will be prepared or which will be published is in 2023. Clear? So, Forest Survey of India. Forest Survey of India. It is a premier and important national organization under the Ministry of Environment and Forest. Good morning, good morning. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing your messages now. Fine. Right. What is Forest Survey of India? It is an organization. Forest Survey of India is an important national organization. This was established in the year 1981. Remember, this organization, Forest Survey of India, this institute, this organization, this premier important national organization was established in 1981. And it works under the Ministry of Environment. Yeah, that point has to be remembered. What is the primary task, important task, which this organization do? What does it do? It assesses, monitors, and sometimes suggests suitable measures for the forest cover, forest development, understand, and forest management. Basically, it takes care of the forest resources. Which one takes care? A very important organization, Forest Survey of India, that was established in 1981, that takes care of the forest resources. Clear? As part of that, this publication of these reports also take place. When was the first forest report released? Any idea? Do you have any idea? When this India State of Forest report, first one was released? Just give me an answer. Tell me, do you know or not? Answer for this. No, no problem, even if you don't know. Just make a guess. When, probably in which year would have been, or roughly, whether it was 60s or 70s, 1970s or 1950s or 1990s or 1980s, in which decade a first report was released? Just make a guess. Do you know what is guess? Just throwing a stone. Okay. This first 1980, it is a good guess. Okay, very good. You are almost there. Somewhere, probably 1980s. Maybe you are thinking or you are intending Very good. 1980s. It is in 1980s. In fact, you are right. Yeah. Oh, it's a good guess. That's how, when you don't know the answer, when you know some of the ideas. See, Forest Survey of India is associated with this development under this Ministry of Environment and Forest. So you can make a wild guess, not wild guess, reasonable guesses. Yeah, it is in fact, the first survey was published in 1987. 1987. Can you see my messages? All of you, can you all see my messages? Yes or no? Can you see my message? I typed one, year 1987. All of you? Okay, fine. All right. Another important point is this report is prepared once in every 2 years. A report is prepared once in every 2 years. So when was this first report prepared? 1987. And this is the 17th report. 17th report. Which report? India State of Forest Report 2021 is the 17th one. The first one was in 1987. Then with a gap of 2 years, each report is prepared for every 2 years. And this is the 17th report. Are you clear with this introduction about this? Definitely, none of these will come for civil services exam. The information I gave you, till maybe for other exam, for groups, those things, this may come. But civil services, this will not. I will tell you which area you need to focus on this 2 to 3 years. What is the primary focus of this report? The primary focus of India State of Forest Report: assessment of India's forest and tree cover. What does it do? Do you know what is assessment? What is the meaning of assessment? You give a progress card. It is just like a progress card. We all know what is progress card. In schools, during the school years, there is a progress card where your educational evaluation is given in the card, how many marks you got in one subject and the other subject, an analysis. That's progress evaluation. This is also a progress card of the forest cover, the forest resources. It is a progress card. In simple words, it's a progress card of forest cover or forest resources. Technically, or as per the report, we say it is an assessment of India's forest and tree cover. That is the primary function, or that is the essence of this report. That is what is contained in this report. Assessment of India's forest and tree cover. Clear? Okay. And who publishes this report? Tell me, who publishes this report? Which organization publishes this report? Guys, that was our introductory part. You don't know. Okay. Others, it is Forest Survey of India. Who publishes this report? Forest Survey of India. This Forest Survey of India is under which ministry? It is under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Or Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Are you clear with this? Or you want me to repeat? Yes or no? You tell me, all of you. Okay, clear. So you must be clear. This may come as a statement, prelims question statement. See, uh, we have different ministries. One of the ministries is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Environment, Forest and Climate Change has got different organizations, different departments. We are talking about one of the institute, one of the organization. Its name is a Forest Survey of India. This organization is a very important organization which was established in 1981. This publishes the report every 2 years, for every 2 years. The name of this report is India State of Forest Report. And the first report was published in 1987. And recently, one report was published that was in the year 2021. If you start from 1987, this is 17th report, 17th time Forest of India is publishing this report. Are you clear with this? Free. Fatima, are you clear? Yes, fine. Now, generally, what is the technology they use? The data is captured through remote sensing techniques. What is remote sensing technique? See, you come across in your S&T, science and technology, all these terms, but general understanding, I'll tell you. Remote is something which is there very far. From far, you sense the data, you sense what is there, and you collect the data from being far itself. Yeah, technically, you will try and learn your S&T classes, science and technology classes. Yeah, this is how the remote, by using this technology, remote sensing technology, the data is collected. And what is the use of this report? First, we get the knowledge, we get the whereabouts of the forest. Based on this report, policies, planning of forest management. We need to manage forests. In order to manage forests, we need some data. Based on data only, the policies, plannings are prepared. Do you get the point? There was before this Ukraine and 2-3 burning topics. There was one burning topic happening with regard to census. Can you tell me what is the burning topic? What was the burning topic? And of course, definitely that will be a burning topic for next 2 to 3 exams, 2 to 3 years. As far as the census data is concerned, something was there in news. Just make a guess. There are 2, but we are concerned now at this point 2 or 1. Yes. One we had already discussed related to Aadhaar linking elections, and we have discussed all what are the problems, what are the difficulties, how to overcome that. Yes or no? And another problem was, another burning issue was collection of data, caste census, based on socio-economic data census from a particular caste, particular group, subgroup, how many people are there. That's what is caste census. Some people were for it, some people were against it, some wanted to collect the data, some did not want to collect the data. One of the reasons the supporters or the people who were very adamant or rather very strong in supporting the collection of data of this caste census was, unless we know how many people are there, unless we know where they stand, how can we formulate policies? How can we plan various welfare schemes or welfare measures? And how can we really take decisions? It is a valid point. When the data is there, then a decision can be arrived. Of course, when there is no data also, there are situations when we need to arrive at, that's a different story, different topics altogether. Here I am giving an example. Based on the available data, we can take efficient decisions, effective policies and plans can be prepared and implemented. So with this data, effective policies can be planned and implemented as far as this management of forests are concerned. This is going to help the management of forests. This is what point. And of course, when we say it's just the forest, forestry, agroforestry. What is agroforestry? What do you mean by agroforestry? What is agroforestry? It's a concept make a guess. You know what is guess? Just try to find the meaning, even if you don't know the meaning, by using some logics, some hints, some clues. That is what is guessing. Looking at that word, just guess what may be agroforestry. Okay, very good. Related to agriculture. Anything? Others just make, I guess. Okay, very good. It is, in simple words, it is a combination of agriculture and forestry. Agriculture, forestry. So it's entirely a different topic, but simply understand even growing forests in the agricultures, like trees, shrubs, bamboos, or no, wherever and whatever possible tree growth is there, increase that growth in the agricultural area. That's something of agroforestry in general, in layman's terms. So even for that, this report helps in that diverse fields. Clear? Okay. This, which I'm going to tell you, three aspects, they are very important in the next 2 or 3 exams, either next 2 prelims or next 2 mains. They have newly introduced a few chapters on 3 topics or 3 areas. One of them is forest cover assessment in tiger reserves and tiger corridor. Yeah, tiger reserves, tiger corridor areas. They started the assessment separately under one chapter they have given. This is very important to remember. You remember this and understand. Clear? What is forest reserve? Okay, that I will come back afterwards last. What is tiger reserve? What is the difference between tiger reserve and tiger corridor? Can anyone? This is, even tiger corridor has been current affair and burning issue. Corridor. I have typed one word, corridor. Can you all see? Corridor. Tiger reserve. This conservation authority was established way back in Tiger Conservation Authority in 1973. All right. That we all know, general information. Since then, they located some areas as tiger reserves through this act, and once this authority has come into existence, in number of years they have been increasing. Yeah, it is, the intention is to protect tigers and to create an atmosphere for the growth of tigers. Clear? That was the purpose. And they say this boundary, these areas, this location is a tiger reserve. Okay, in this state, these areas, tiger reserves. Okay. Now I think of late, latest, I don't really know exactly. It's I think more than 50 we have tiger reserves. To check with the latest data. Huh? How many tiger reserves you have? Oh, more than 50 we have tiger reserves. And what is, yes? Uh, tiger corridors. We all know, see, understand simple language. In a building, we have corridor. In your school or college or institute, you may find corridor. What is the purpose of corridor in a building? Tell me. Guess, make a guess. There is nothing called right or wrong. Yes? What do we do? There are 10 classrooms, and in front of classroom, you have corridor. What is the purpose? If, let us say in a school, there is class 9, class 10. If you have to walk from class 9 to class 10, you come out of the classroom, come to the corridor, walk. Yes, excellent. It is like how we link classroom to classroom. Corridor is a linkage between a tiger reserve and another tiger reserve. We have how we have in a school classroom. You come out of the classroom, come to veranda, come to corridor, walk, and go to another classroom. Like that, tiger corridor is a connecting way, connecting path, or connecting area between a reserve and another reserve. Yeah, its reserves are the habitats. Tigers live. Connecting two areas where tigers live. What happens due to this corridor? The tigers, the natural decline will not take place. When there is a difficulty for the survival, they move from one reserve to another reserve. If the environment is not conducive, that means the situation is not favorable. Let us assume that the situation is not favorable for the survival or the growth of tiger. If there is no connecting point, they die, they decline in number, or they extinct. If there is a linkage, if there is a corridor, if the circumstances are unfavorable, when their existence gets threatened, they move to another reserve through tiger corridors. That's the difference. What is this forest cover? This report has done. It has assessed, analyzed, evaluated what is the forest cover in these corridors and the cells. Why is it? Why are we focusing this? Because for the first time they introduced a chapter on this. When there is something of this sort happens, UPSC is very interested to look into this and frame one or two questions of this. This is how, when you read reports, when you go through reports, when you go through data, give a special focus on an area which has been introduced for the first time. And UPSC is very it's very they have the tendency to test these new areas in the reports. They may ask a question or may not ask a question, but there is a possibility to ask the question either in prelims or mains. No, I didn't get, Mohammed, your question. So what is that? Yes, guys, any doubt so far, any clarification? And I tell you, whatever you learn, current affairs part, this is not everything. I have told you so many times. You may get 10 questions out of whatever in a small, in a limited classes, or you may not get even a single question from these topics. Understand? So it is just like a tip of an iceberg. There's a lot of syllabus, a lot of current affairs to be covered on your own. You work hard and prepare. Don't exclusively solely rely on whatever is being taught. It is for everything, anywhere. It's whether any institute, any faculty, any subject, this applies. Your hard work matters a lot in your success. Okay. Another chapter or new area which this report touched is ground, above ground biomass estimation. Above ground biomass, what do you mean by above ground biomass? What is biomass? What is biology, biography? Bio is life. Understand? Mass, gathering, something of life. It's shrubs, trees, tree leaves, everything which is above the ground. That is, yeah, that's above ground biomass. When you come across this word, you understand it that way. There is a special chapter on above ground biomass estimation using synthetic aperture radar data. Have you heard about this in your SNT Science and Technology? SAR. Synthetic aperture radar. Have you heard about this word? Yes or no, you tell me. Yeah. Generally here, when under the bio forest report, we are worried about the plants, shrubs, trees, yeah, not about animals. Clear? When this report is considered, they report that. And yeah, it is synthetic aperture radar is, we know what is the radar, and we know remote sensing data. See, we have satellites, artificial satellites, and how to say, I will tell you simply in simple words. Uh, the data, see, do you know what is wavelength? Wavelength, waves, transmission. See, for example, have you heard about albedo in geography? Albedo. Albedo. How to say? Yes or no? Tell me. Then I'll simply explain if you don't. See, a sun rays falls on the snow. That is reflected. Generally, we say that when about around 90% is reflected, the amount of sun rays on ice, the light, yeah, reflection. So the light, yeah, and see the reflection, when it is reflected, the wavelength varies from object to object. Yeah, just understand this way. If you don't understand, if you don't have technical knowledge, just say the reflection on different objects is at different wavelengths. Okay, and that is collected. No, the light comes reflected, the data is captured from the artificial satellites, and it is provided to us. So, based on the data, suppose the light falling on the tree and being reflected, this wavelength being reflected, and the data is collected, synthesized, and we can see where all the forest is there, where all the dense forest is there, like no, or very dense forest where the forest cover is less than 40%, less than 70%. That way the data can be seen. Clear? It is something of that sort, because technically it is you need to understand those concepts as well. Under science and technology, you should understand what this synthetic aperture radar, what remote sensing is, how the data is there, and how like no, you have that spatial, the resolution, all these concepts you must be at least have some basic knowledge. Like know how much of distance is the resolution, whether it is 2-bit, 4-bit, 8-bit. If that the bits get increased, what happens? What happens to the resolution, the area? Like it is like a mobile. You find a picture, this bit, this much resolution, the clarity. The higher the resolution, the greater the clarity. Understand? Higher the resolution. And spatial, based how much, whether it covers a small tree or a big tree or 2 meters or 6 meters, like that. Temporal, all these things you must know, have some understanding of these technical terms. This come under the static syllabus of your S&T. Have that they use this synthetic aperture radar data to what you call estimate, and this is given as a chapter, and so there may be a question directly related to this because they have used this, or a special chapter is there. One or two under S&T, science and technology also, they may touch these areas. So must be prepared. Clear, you will have different types. And again, there is like no source, whether source coming from sun and getting reflected, or there are some satellites, they themselves throw the light and collect the data. Clear? Those types you prepare. And again, where all the satellites are, the orbits, low, the medium, the higher, there is a range, like, right? Like, for example, I think it is up to, I'm not really sure. They have that categories of some kilometers, around 200 or 350, then 2000 kilometers. Satellites where they place, and again the satellites placed somewhere around 35,500, and then after that you get geosynchronous satellites that is on par with the speed. That's around, what is the speed? That number you must remember, that still long back, it is 35,000. I don't know if I can recollect, 786, I believe. You may cross check. That is there. If it is right on the equator, it is known as geostationary satellite. If not on the what you call equator, but at that height, different place, then it is geosynchronous orbit. You must be thorough with this when you write the exam, because when these kind of things are linked, if you are thorough with those, then you may get 2 or 3 more marks in your prelims. Clear? Okay, that's a different topic. We have slightly moved ahead. Just understand, it is a kind of no wavelengths coming back and data extracting and formulation synthesizing the data there. Yeah, that's something of that sort. Yeah, this Forest Survey of India, in collaboration with Space Application Center, ISRO. It's wing, one of the wings or one of the part of ISRO. SAC, Space Application Center. That's important. Space Space Application Center is one of the wings or part of ISRO. Where is this located? Space Application Center, Ahmedabad. For some lower level exams, group 1 or group 2 or those kind of exams, they may even ask the location of Space Application Center, Ahmedabad. Clear? In collaboration with Space Application Center, FSR, a Forest Survey of India, they, in collaboration with these people, extracting details from this data, the data of synthetic aperture radar data. They estimated above ground biomass. Here, there's a particular chapter on that. That is also a probable candidate for your exams. Is this point clear? Yeah, I haven't gone into the technical aspects. That becomes science and S&T. Okay, guys. Next, another area newly introduced chapter or newly touched upon very strongly is mapping of climate change hotspots in Indian forest. What is hotspot? What is hotspot happening? It's very hot. The spot is very hot. That's why we call it hotspot. Hotspot in that particular field we are discussing. Here, climate change in different places, the climate changes at different rates. In one place, the climate changes slowly. In another place, the climate changes quickly. Wherever the climate changes at a very fast pace, we call it a climate hotspot. Here, they have mapped in the forest area, all the forest area which they have, wherever there is a fast change in comparison to the previous data, they have identified them and treated them as the hotspots of climate change and discussed. Sure, this is another area which is there. So just that much is enough for your civil services prelims point of view. Mains also okay for civils, but forests exam people, they may have to go further deep. Those are writing forest services mains, they will have to go one step further. Otherwise, in general, this should be fine. Okay, for the collection of this data on cooperation, they have taken the help of BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani, you have heard, right? It's a famous campus, Goa campus. BITS Pilani Goa campus support they have taken for mapping of this climate change hotspots in Indian forests. Okay, is it clear so far? Is there anything which you are not clear? Yeah. Any doubt? Any clarification you require? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Follow? Hope this is not going as a bouncer or you're wasting your time or my time or all of us. Yeah. Clear. So you don't require any clarification. Fine, very good. Yeah, other data you just check what is the forest cover, increase how much, what happened to total forest cover, whether it is increased or decreased, very dense increased or decreased, moderately dense forest increased or decreased, open forest, all these things, categories in general, you can just check. But overall, all these segments were increased, like open forest, dense for moderately dense forest, overall forest area. Sorry, moderately dense forest was decreased. All the other things, very dense forest, overall area, open forest, they have all increased. Moderately dense forest was decreased. You must remember that. Overall, what happened to this? And you know what is that categorization, how it is categorized? When the tree cover is open forest up to 10%, 10 to 40%, 40 to 70%, and more than 70%. That category is also, just take note of that. Are you clear with that, or do you want me to just tell that? The canopy density. So you can just go through, you will find anywhere that data. Very dense forest, which is more than 70%, moderately dense forest between 40 to 70% of the cover, right? And open forest with the density of 10 to 40%. That is the tree cover density of 10 to 40%, open cover 40 to 70%, moderately dense, more than 70%, very dense. Yeah, that is also which has to be remembered. Apart from that, I don't think anything we need to discuss here. Okay, all the statistical data, you just take note of that. You can make note of points. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think any other important point that I'll have to. Okay, I'll tell you two important points that may be probable candidates. Forest cover in the tiger reserve areas, because that being the new one data, factual data, the factual data I'll give you. That's 7.8% of the country's total forest area. Understand, 7.8% of the country's forest area has got this forest cover in tiger reserves. Is this data clear? 7.8%. What is this data? Forest cover in tiger reserves. Clear? Because it's a new area, it's a probable candidate for the exam. And one more, tiger reserve with largest forest cover. Which is the tiger reserve with largest forest cover? It is Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve. Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve. In India, tiger reserve with the largest forest cover. This may not come as a direct question, but as a question statement you may get. Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve. It is one of the largest or the largest tiger reserve with the largest forest cover. Clear? That's a fact. That's factual data. And other things you'll have to just go through, which may be of help for your mains. And forest carbon stock. This is another thing which you need to remember, or which you need to understand. Total carbon stock in forest. What is carbon stock? That's a different topic, carbon credits and stock. Just understand, the carbon, like the carbon dioxide, that is stored in forests. You do some reading on carbon credits, okay, you will understand further. But the carbon is stored in forests and different places. That is the advantage for us in the international market in carbon credits. And even this is one of the criterion used in the allocation of resources by the finance commission. You remember, there is an allocation of funds to different states. When funds are allocated, they take into consideration what is the forest cover also. Why do they take these things in consideration? Because these states are protecting the forest, which is helpful not only for that state, for human race as well, for all the other states as well. That's the reason they consider while allocating, and there are other reasons. Another reason why is it helps in our carbon credits. There's a different, just understand carbon credits, like crediting, we have credits controlling pollution. It is one of the mechanisms for pollution control. See, so it's, we may deviate. Just understand, when the carbon is stored, it's something which is causing pollution, which spoils the environment. Carbon, that carbon is stored. It is stored in underground, it is stored in the oceans, it is stored in the forest. As we are discussing here, just you must note this point. They will not ask this in the exam, but you can use this point as an answer or one of the points in your mains answers. Total carbon stock in forests is somewhere around 7,204 million tons. 7,204. You need not remember even this number complete. Is it just more than 7,000 million tons, or more than, or around 7,200 million tons, or around 7,000 million tons of carbon stock is stored in the forests? That's a valid point, which can be used in your essays or in mains answers, or in arriving at answer in your prelims question. Clear? Is this point clear? This is important. I missed it. Are you clear with this? Carbon stock. And the trend is no, I don't get your question, but if I can make it out, see, carbon credit is actually, various topics are there, background is required, but I will tell you simply, there are different countries are taking measures, various countries are taking measures to decrease those protocols. Have you gone through Kyoto Protocol or various protocols to reduce the pollution? Under those, each country needs to bring down the pollution levels either to the pre-existing pre-industrial levels, or some levels. They say they give a benchmark and bring it down to 50% of that levels, or equal to that level. Some data is given. Carbon credits are one of those. Carbon, see, from the vehicle, carbon dioxide is released. It's a pollution. When we cut lot of trees, the pollution is increased. Understand? When we have more trees, it absorbs this and it stores, the tree stores. The storing is called carbon stocking. Understand? What material, what are stored in air, ocean, and that come under some part of geography or some kind of part of science and technology. You under that, you just go through. You need not go in depth for that. Okay. No, I didn't get your question. Biomass. Okay, if you do not understand, see, just understand this point. Maybe after some reading, you will understand this. I think I'm confusing you guys. Just understand. We receive some oxygen from the trees. Yeah, we receive no trees emit oxygen, carbon dioxide, all, but we receive some amount of oxygen. They take some amount of carbon dioxide. When the trees take carbon dioxide, it is good for us. Unlike that, some kind of carbon pollution element is taken by the tree. If 1,000 trees are there, little bit, so the amount increases. So in a big forest, lot of carbon is stored. Carbon is stored in the form of in the trees, in tree, not outside, in the tree. They, through various parameters, they calculate how much is carbon is stored. When the trees grow, the amount of carbon storing is gets increased. Are you clear at least with this point? More number of trees, more number of carbon stocking. The storing of carbon increases. Is it not? There are 100 trees and 1,000 trees. The 1,000 trees store more carbon than 100 trees. Right? Like that, the trend. Now, there is an increase from the previous years to now, 79.4 million tons carbon stock. That means around 80 million tons increased storage. The storage, suppose there is a store, there is 80 million storage increased in the forest because of forest increase in the carbon stock. So it's somewhere around 7,200 million ton stock. Clear? This is the point. If you just know this, that should be fine. If you don't understand very clearly, because various from different aspects you must go in deep, then we will deviate. I want to discuss one or two topics. Yeah, if you understand this much, that should be fine. There is a tree store carbon, fine. Yeah, how much? Around 7,200 million ton stock. And is there a decrease or increase? There is an increase. If you know that much, enough for prelims. Okay, other things. And climate hotspot projection, they said it will increase the number of climate hotspots will increase by 2030, by 250. They'll given various figures. You need not remember all those that, but it gets increased. The climate change hotspots will not decrease, it will only increase. You must remember that point. Clear? Sure? Okay, guys. That should be fine with the forest report. Other things are not very important. Clear? If you have any doubt in general about this forest report, ask me. Otherwise, we'll move. Any doubt? Okay. Then we'll move. There was a report called Biodiversities by 2030, Transforming Cities. A report was there. Biodiversities by 2030, Transforming Cities. Biodiversities by 2030, Transforming Cities. This report was published by World Economic Forum. Have you heard about this World Economic Forum? Yeah. How many of you have heard about this World Economic Forum? Yes and no. What is World Economic Forum? Can you tell me what WEF is? No. Okay. Anyone else? See, guys, do some reading on some this international institutes, some organizations, some institutes. It will help you not just your civil services, even if you are writing some other no, lower level exams, it will really help the group 1, 2, or other exams. They will be of help, some help. This data will be of some help. Okay, yeah, it's down. Do some. It is an international organization for public-private cooperation. Yeah. It is not just exclusively a governmental related organization, and it involves leaders from various spheres, various walks of life, political leaders, like business leaders, the economically strong players, and cultural leaders, and some leaders who are of important. They try to involve all these people. Okay, and this organization was established somewhere in 1971. Yeah, it's 71. Not for profit foundation, which is located, is headquarters is in Switzerland, Geneva, I think. Yeah, Geneva. Switzerland, Geneva. Where is Switzerland located? In Africa or in Americas or Asia or Europe? Which part? Switzerland is part of which of the which continents, guys? Yeah. Tell me, just make a guess. Switzerland. Have you heard about this country name? Switzerland, Europe. All right, very good. At least you must remember now. So my Ukraine crisis is going on. At least know what are all the countries are there in Europe, somewhere around. Yeah, at least know a country. Okay, where is it? You can't say that it is in Asia or North America and so on. Okay, Switzerland. This report, Biodiversities by 2030, Transforming Cities. The name of the report is Biodiversities by 2030, Transforming Cities. Actually, it is a continuation. If you observe, if you go through, I think you need not go through the report, just understand it. Transforming cities, the relationship with nature. They title with big words this one, but how is that transforming? They wanted to transform the relationship of cities with nature. Now, let us say you don't know anything about it. Each one, just give me a reason. What way the city's relationship can be transformed with the nature? Can you just think for a moment? Think, tell me what way these relationships can be changed, improved with the nature. Yes, just think and let me know. So there are constructions, new constructions coming up. New constructions are coming up. They say it is the natural sunlight coming into the house, the trees around. Imagine a building surrounded by trees. We are not using much of electricity, and the electricity, natural light coming in from outside. That means the structure of a building is changing, and to support the nature. Understand? That's one hint I'm giving you. In what way we can improve the relationship with the nature, cities, like cities relationship. Think. Even if you don't tell or type, just think and analyze in your own mind. Okay, and because this will be of some help for your mains as well. For mains point of view, these ideas will help you in framing very good answers. Okay. One more point here with this report is, this report is published by World Economic Forum along with, it's a joint initiative, along with the government of Colombia. The government of Colombia. This is some important point you should take note of. The government of Colombia. Where is Colombia? What is it, Colombia? Is it a state or a country, or Colombia? It's a country, right? Yes or no? Guys? Which part of, or where is it located? In which other continents? In Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia? America? See, this country, Colombia, is part of South America. There is North America, South America, United States, Canada, United States, Mexico you have. Then some line coming down, and connecting to South America. Yes, do you visualize your world map? North America, small line, South America. This small line, and the first country would be Colombia in the South America. Clear? That's where the Colombia is. Why I am stressing is, see, Switzerland, Geneva, World Economic, okay, Northwest South America, and in fact, intruding it's like no, the connecting to North. Uh, one point which you must know about this Colombia. There were, I think, I don't remember which year, probably 90s, I think. I don't know, you just cross check it. The mega biodiversity, the countries of mega biodiversity. Okay, there are around 17 countries, the hotspots, mega biodiversity hotspots. No, when you have a lot of biodiversity, number of species are there in that country, and there are some species, some category of animals which are endemic, that is, which are there only or which they can live only in that particular country. Those are categorized as mega biodiversity countries. I think it's the number is 17. Please cross check with this info. I haven't cross checked it. It's just come to my mind. It is one of the countries. Colombia is one of those 17 countries. Clear? And probably from the environmental aspect also, they may test it. Yes, as this is part of this report. So this background also can be tested. It's one of the mega biodiversity. Yeah, it's the 90s only. I think in 90s. Yeah, clear? Just do some kind of work on that one. Otherwise, much of the geography is not required because this is after. Uh, okay, Brazil, I think. After Brazil, this is the second most diversified. All those things are not required, but keep in mind it's one of those 17 countries, this Colombia. Clear? In collaboration, in joint collaboration, this report was published. Biodiversities by 2030, transforming cities. In fact, in cities, relationship with the nature. Okay. That's it. A very important point from here to be remembered. Okay, its intention, as we have discussed, to support governments, businesses, business organizations, citizens, and the main focus would be living harmoniously with the nature, living in harmony with the nature. They just want to live harmoniously with the nature. And what are the things, if practiced, if implemented, we can achieve this? All those things will be are discussed in detail, but they are not very important unless if you are writing one or two questions on that for mains. Okay, relationship. Yeah, the minute data is not very important. Oh, so in general, you can say what are the benefits because of this harmonious relationship of cities with the nature. We get clean water, clean air, better. If not clean, if we try to live in harmony with the nature, at least better than the existing, cleaner than the existing water and air we get, and infrastructure cost also comes down. See, when you compare with this gray infrastructure, this infrastructure, what we have now, when the constructions are also built, or a buildings and infrastructure is built harmoniously with the nature, that gets reduced, cost gets reduced. That's an important point you can highlight. And again, carbon sinks because the trees, we try to grow as many trees as a roadside, empty places. We give focus and grow trees. The carbon sink, wherever the carbon is stored, we call it as a carbon sink. Okay, carbon sink. You know what is sink? The carbon sink gets expanded, that more carbon can be stored. Yeah, and other things, general, recreational, human, emotional, all the other things we can, philosophical, whatever point we can add it. The life gets easier, simpler, better. Those things can be added. Yeah. Is it clear? Not very, very important, but important. There is one, if you are clear, we'll just discuss one more point, other topic. Yes? Yes, guys? There is one report called Global Risks Report. Here. Global Risks Report. This report is published annually by World Economic Forum. It is based on Global Risks Perception Survey. Okay. They highlight risks coming out from different spheres of fields: political, economical, social, geopolitical. All these dimensions are taken into consideration. And what are the risks coming out from there? Based on that, this report is prepared by World Economic Forum. Clear? Here, though it is annual, why we tend to discuss this is it has brought in these vaccines. The vaccine inequality leading to uneven economic recovery. See, they tried to link vaccine availability, how vaccines are available, vaccines are made available, how people recover, and how economy recovers, and the risks associated with that. And we are recovering from this COVID trauma or the collapse of economy due to COVID and recovery. In the backdrop of that, you must remember this report, Global Risks Report 2022, prepared by World Economic Forum. And one data from the report which highlights is that poorest 52 countries have, that means people around 20% of the world population, 20%, that is 1/5 of the world population, have only 6% vaccination. 6%. Where is 6%? Where is 1/5 of the population? The remaining have that 94% of the vaccination. That means the inequality of the vaccination availability. And one more projection, what they project is by 2024, the developing economies, excluding China, they kept aside China, the developing economies will fall 5.5% below the pre-pandemic level. See, there is a growth at this level before the pandemic, and we should have grown to this level now. But once we recover, we will have to start not from here, 5.5% below the pre-pandemic level. From here, we need to move on. That's what is the projection of this Global Risks Report 2022. And of course, all the common points, we are dependent on digital, and software is susceptible to threats, climate change. Okay, and one point I will highlight here, one important. Pressure to transition to net zero economies. See, there are various targets to reduce the carbon emissions. And when they have to implement with the deadlines, they will have to switch to other industries with other modes of production, other modes of industries. So suddenly, if they try to implement these targets quickly, the people dependent on this industry. In economy, what you call these structural changes, they affect a lot of people. It affects the society in general, economy in particular, and social evils in particular. It touches those areas. And what this report says is, this puts so many people at a jobless situation and creating social tensions and geopolitical tensions, and affecting the harmony and peace of the society and to economy to certain extent. This is another projection based on the point of shifting to net zero economies. Net zero economies. Clear? I think if you're thorough with these points, that should be fine. Need to concentrate too much. Okay, other points are common points, not relevant. Clear, guys? Are you clear with this? If you're clear, we'll move to another topic. Yes. Yeah. Then any other doubt before I move to another particular topic? Do you have any doubts in general as far as the preparation is concerned? Anything that I can help you with your general studies preparation? Yeah, if you want, you can ask or you can type. Anything? Yes or no? Just type if you have anything, yes, no. Others, no. So very good. You're all on the right track. Have you heard zero budget natural farming? How many of you have heard zero budget natural farming? Zero budget natural farming. Can you see what I typed? Anyone, have you heard about this zero budget natural farming? All of you, no. Based on the statement, you tell me one sentence. Okay. What do you understand by looking at this term? Just type by looking at those four words, what maybe. What can you understand by looking at those four words? Clear? No, nothing is coming to your mind. Okay, it may be related to farmers, related to farming methods, natural methods, fine. Okay, it's nothing but what you're all thinking. See, why it has been something which is like no, not very happening thing, but why are we discussing? Recently, Indian Council of Agricultural Research Indian Council of Agricultural Research Committee. There's a committee, that is ICAR formed. It highlighted if zero budget natural farming is followed, because there was a stress, there was a focus, there was a thrust to follow this method. If that is followed, there is a probability that the production may go down strongly or suddenly. When the production of the crop comes down, what happens? There will be shortage of food items and the increase of prices, increase of hunger. There will be repercussions, there will be consequences. The side effects, we call it in general terms. It was trying to warn. They have not used the word warning, but the report, the committee was not report, the committee was trying to warn that we may face food security shortage. We may get affected, or it might impact our food security. So generally, what is this? What are these universal principles of natural farming? What do they do? You might have heard in the news recently coming. This it works on some 3 or 4 pillars. They say Jivamruta, Bijamruta, Achandana, Vapasa. These are all some terms. Don't worry whether you understand or not. Just try to know the meanings of them. Jivamrita or Jivamruta is something replacing the chemical fertilizers with cow dung, cow urine, jaggery, pulse water, soil. See, like don't use chemical fertilizers. Use cow dung, cow urine, jaggery, on any other things, naturally made things, and they will be used as manure, like what do you say, production enhancement agents. So that is Jivamrita. This is one of the principles, or Jivamrita, whatever. It's one of the principles. Another thing is Bijamrita. Bijamrita is treating the seeds, seedlings, or plants, so that when we treat them, it's like some kind of washing with, or some kind of treating, so that it is not, it doesn't get attacked by pests, fungus, or anything. Any insects or fungus or those things, they may not attack the seeds or seedlings if this treating is done, if it is processed or treated. That is called Bijamrita, Jivamrita, Bijamrita, and Achandana. Achandana is, instead of you know what is plowing with the tractors, or farmer plows very deep. So here under this principle, don't plow, don't dig very deep, just dig top, protect the soil layers. So little bit of digging, top layer, and then carrying out the seeding, uh, planting of seedlings, etc. And another Vapasa, it is like ensuring presence of air and water molecules in the soil with reduced irrigation. Irrigation is not getting increased, maintaining that moisture, air, water, these qualities. These are the pillars, the core principles. There are other principles also, like don't disturb the soil too much, don't spoil the soil, don't use too many or rather don't use any chemicals. Okay, increasing the organic residues in the soil. That means like trees, leguminous trees. Some trees they plant, so they get rotten. They turn into manure, and like this, the organic stuff instead of chemicals, going for organic, and using indigenous seeds, the local seeds. The local seeds have got that local protection. So go for the local seeds rather than entirely bringing it from a different country or a seed which is located in a different environment and bringing it here. These are all some of the principles based on which zero budget natural farming is carried out. Okay, this in general they may ask, if you know, you can, it's very simple. In general you can understand and guess the answer and write if it is asked in prelims or mains. Very simple. But factually remember that ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Indian Council of Agricultural Research Committee, actually it was B Praveen Rao, the committee who headed, I think it's the same name, yeah, Praveen Rao. Yeah, it's the main point here is I want to bring one thing. Somewhere around 15-16 months back, I don't remember exactly the months, or let's say somewhere 1.5 to 2 years, Sri Lankan, they were facing famine kind of situation, tough situation. I was reading one of the articles. One of the writers from Sri Lankan Management Institute or some top institute, he had written the article. In that article, he argues, of course, anywhere you will have these politicians, politics, the kind of policies they try to implement, they have vested interest in mind, elections or other stuff in mind. Keeping that in mind, they prepared policies. It affected agriculture in general. The second one, what he said was suddenly the governments try to force this sort of practices. They are good, zero budget national farming. They are good. They are good, they are very effective. But once we look at it critically examining or evaluate, suddenly the food production, if it goes down, there will be a scarcity of food. It affects the society. And that's what happened in the recent past in Sri Lanka. They had 100, 200, 300% inflation on food articles and some pulses or some seeds. This professor, in his article, he states one of the reasons is so much of trust, so much of importance is given. So the second, what you say, we have not prepared well and jumped into this. So when we want to switch to this sort of things, you need to maintain good enough stock. You must estimate that production and productivity will go down. Of course, the environment is protected, the earth is protected, the food production levels come down, people die of hunger. So those things have to be planned and implemented. Keep this point in mind. You can quote Sri Lankan example or B Praveen Rao committee, this ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research Committee. the way they were trying to promote these things. When we try to go for this zero budget national farming, it's good. These are the features. This point to be remembered here. And some factual, yes, of course, this you might have read it. It was originally promoted by Maharashtra agriculturist. He received Padma Shri also. His name Subhash Palekar. Sorry, Subhash Palekar. This guy Subhash Palekar was upset with Green Revolution. Green Revolution, a lot of productivity levels were very high, but they were using all synthetic, this chemical pesticides, which were affecting the soil, the nature, the earth. So he had come up with this zero budget national farming based on all these principles. Of course, he has not propagated all these things. But the key principles which we discuss under zero budget national farming are the principles propagated by the Subhash Palekar. All right. This is historical information. Okay, that's generally. If you remember, in fact, one of the schemes a few years back, the soil, like health card, we have health card, the soil testing cards. I don't remember exact name. Those cards were given, which it contains all the data of that local land, the area, what kind of crops can be grown, what kind of water is required, what are the levels of no, threat from fungus or this thing. The data is available. In fact, in this Telangana, Andhra Pradesh government, they had come up with one beautiful scheme. I don't remember the name of that scheme. Some Raitu Bharosa, that scheme, some Raitu Bharosa was a scheme that this program with the larger schemes, the combination of various programs. Under this Raitu Bharosa, that's assurance of the farmers. That's kind of a big scheme or a program. In that, the subset is something of this, where they go to farmer centers. Based on that Raitu Bharosa, they need to establish centers at various places. I don't remember the nitty-gritties. They have to establish centers in various mandals or secretaries or village secretaries. He has come up with the concept of secretaries, this present government. In various places, they have established this farmer, this Raitu Bharosas. There, they get guidance and support about the seeds, seedlings, soil, all these things. There are various measures where they can even go with a reduced cost. Understand? Either they can fully go for this. There is no compulsion that they need to go for zero budget farming, but they help the farmers. It was intended to help the farmers. But remember, with that help, we can analyze and see that partially they can move to zero budget. See, wherever it's not possible, they can go with still that chemicals. Wherever there is a possibility, they can go to this zero budget national farming. Those institutes can be used for the transition of smooth transition of farmers moving into this or following these kind of programs slowly instead of suddenly switching over. Do you get the point? These kind of things can be implemented instead of immediately jumping and switching gears. Yeah. Okay. Any other point which can be? I don't think anything important under that. Okay, there was some Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Padhati, BPKP, which was sub-scheme. This is a sub-scheme of Paramparagan Krishi Vikas Yojana. That's the scheme of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Since last year, I think they have been implemented in 2020 and 21. There, this scheme main focus is promoting traditional indigenous practices. Among lot of indigenous practices, zero budget natural farming is one, and this scheme encourages. The name of that scheme is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Under that, the sub scheme is Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Pradhati. Here, this is some schemes which may come for prelims. Just you need to go through, and they have some kind of plan to include some proposal to include these programs, zero budget natural farming in agricultural universities. At the graduation levels and at the post graduation levels. That's one of the plans which they have. It's all pipeline. Just keep updating. That's it. Other environment related. There was one policy try to understand what is carbon inequality policy. Carbon is a very important word which you must read and understand from various dimensions: environment, international relations, society, economy. And carbon inequality is a kind of concept where rich countries, developed countries, they produce they emit a lot of carbon. Poor countries, developing countries, they produce low carbons. However, this spoils the pollution and the spoiled environment that affects the human race as a large. So they are destroying the environment and getting the benefit, and the benefit is only for them. But the destruction, the negatives are for everyone. So based on that, or based on these principles, the carbon inequality concept comes. Just go through them. That's I think we are the time up, so we cannot discuss that. That is one thing which you must take note. Other things. So actually, remember once Supreme Court had asked for Indian Environment Service, or IES. Is it possible to implement IES? Then the governments were trying to say, no, we have already IFS and the forest departments. There will be burden, heavy budget, and overlapping of duties. It was there in the news. There was the discussion. So it's a probable candidate for question. Yeah. That you must go through it, take note of them. Okay, and other current affairs, just go through. But when we look at it, have your preparation, do your preparation comprehensively. In my first class, I told you, your preparation should be comprehensive, integrated. That means don't bifurcate. I am preparing for prelims, I'm preparing for mains, I'm preparing for interview. Clear? It should be prelims as well as mains. And it should be not just one subject. All this, see, it is not like if you go through notification, Have you ever seen syllabus of prelims, syllabus for polity, syllabus for economy, syllabus for international relations, the syllabus for geography? Has the UPSC given in the notification any point in time? Except for options. Optionals they have given subject. Others have they given so? No. That means if you take select carbon credit, it integrates everything. If you take one, you should check from the quality point of view, like the forests. Look at it from the quality point of view. When was this act? When was this introduced? What is? Where is it? Where does it? Is it under state list or central list? Or was it moved to concurrent list? When was it moved? Which amendment? Was it in 42nd Amendment? How is it amended? So from quality, from economy, how does it affect the economy? How does it affect commerce, trade? And from society and country as an organization, country, how the rules are made internationally. From one point, if you try to understand, you may forget some facts, some data, but your understanding, your horizon, your thinking broadens, your thinking grows. So that when you write, see, ranking is decided on your mains. When you write your mains, you will have a quality answer, quality, enriching answer. When your answer gets enriched, you get more marks. When you get more marks, you get a better rank. When you get a better rank, you get an IS or IPS or the choice of your or whatever you wish or desire. So it's all interlinked. Your desire, your destination, your target is linked with your preparation. And do it well, and you can become successful. I wish you good luck, guys. Any doubt? Any doubt? If you don't have doubt, we'll wind up. Okay. Anything you want to ask generally also you can ask, not about the notification, what is the age, when will it come, what is the last date, don't ask me. Yes, guys. Nothing is there. I'll wind up. Any general thing also, if you want to ask anything in general. Oh, thank you. Okay, guys, have a great day and wish you good luck. Bye.